Hey, it's MAGA Hat Monday. Let's go.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
Elise Stefanik, a radical, Marxist, Islamist, Jew-hating, America-hating mayor is what New York City is going to have. He was endorsed by your governor, Hochul, and it seems to me that really the only check left on him is going to be the governor, who would lead both politically, rhetorically, and legally to try and slow him down or stop him in some respects. How can Hochul do that if she endorsed him and helped him get elected?
Well, first of all, Kathy Hochul, when the state was looking for leadership, Kathy Hochul bent the knee to this raging, defund the police, anti-Semite communist who wants to raise taxes. And you and I both know, Mark, New York is already the most unaffordable state in the nation because of Kathy Hochul's failed leadership.
What's good, my people? You're watching the MC Too Tall show with your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host, MC Too Tall. Okay, we're talking about the governor's race. It's not even 2026, and it looks like the governor's race is on right after the mayoral race ended, and that intifada, jihadist, socialist, communist, Zohran Mamdani won the mayor's election. Elise Stefanik, congresswoman from way there upstate New York, announced her candidacy for governor of New York. And she's expected to go up against the incumbent, Huckster Hochul. Who's Huckster Hochul? Well, that's Kathy Hochul, of course, but I call her a huckster. Reason being because of that congestion pricing. She puts it on the table for a higher amount of money. The public rages. She takes it off the table and then slips it back on at a reduced rate, expecting everybody to be happy. Well, I'm gonna mug you for $15. No, don't mug me for $15. Nah, I'm not gonna mug you. You know what? I'm gonna come back and mug you for $9. You got to be kidding me. That is a huckster move in of itself. That's for no other reason. That's a great reason to call her Huckster Hochul. And she also lies about the safety, the public safety in our inner cities throughout the state, including, most notably, New York City. But Elise Stefanik, she put up her candidacy, and she's gonna have a go at it. And I believe it's a clear lane, unless they wedge somebody else in there. They might pull a candidate switch. So 2 years in a row, we've seen the incumbent drop out. This is the year of the incumbent dropout. And as the mother of my great grand guru in life, Nick Ferrari, would say, not Nick Ferrari himself, but what his mother told him, and then he passed that knowledge on to me. There's a no two without a three. And so, because there's a no two without a three, Biden, incumbent president, dropped out of his own campaign. They swapped the candidates. And Donald Trump gets elected president. Eric Adams, incumbent mayor of New York, starts his campaign as an independent, drops out late in the race. They try to swap him out for Cuomo and back up Cuomo. And that just screws things up for Sliwa. Mamdani becomes mayor. And so they could do something like that, possibly with Huckster Hochul. They know her popularity is in the toilet. She's not a snappy, popular gal. And so Elise Stefanik comes through with wielding the facts, and she's much younger, much sharper, bit of a firecracker there, and she's gonna take no prisoners when she gets in there. And I hope there's at least 3 gubernatorial debates. I hope there's at least 3. Can't cut it with just 2. There's got to be at least 3. And boy, oh boy, I tell you, man, I tell you, the momentum isn't going to be blue city, blue state, because upstate tends to be conservative. They go for the supposed moderate Democrats, usually. But when they see the supposed moderate Democrats start turning radical, like Mario Cuomo did, allowing for George Pataki to just take over and give us a good 12 years of New York State, what happens here is not much different. People are seeing how radical Huckster Hochul has become. First of all, endorsing Mamdani. So if Mamdani crashes and burns, first thing Stefanik is going to go for is to say in these debates, well, Huckster, that's, well, probably call her Kathy or Governor. Well, Governor, this is the man you put your seal of approval on, and he's a failure. And people are going to be like, yeah. And they'll vote for Stefanik. I predict Stefanik if there's a campaign without obstruction, Stefanik will get in there. If they do a candidate swap for shock value, which they often do. They did that with Bill Clinton. They did that with Barack Obama for the level of the presidency. They might do that on the state level with Kathy Hochul. Swap her out for somebody that's barely known. And they'll bring all kinds of bells and whistles with them and shiny things to dangle in front of people's faces and be like, oh, wow, who is that? I mean, that's how Mamdani got to be mayor. Why wouldn't they do that? If if they were smart. I'm banking on the Democrats being as dumb and so entrenched in their own evil that they will foul up. But if they're focused, they'll do a candidate swap, and it'll be somebody whose name we don't know right now. Somebody whose face we've barely seen up until now. You know, the young, sharp guy that looks good in a suit. That's usually their MO. That's usually the horse they ride into victory whenever they do get a victory. Carter was much younger than Ford, had a fuller head of hair. They weren't banking on him sucking as badly as he did as president. He had the big smile. Clinton seemed like an everyman showing up to McDonald's. He drove Mustangs. Ambiguously had some kind of experience with pot. The hottest night talk show at the time was Arsenio Hall, and there he was playing the saxophone on Arsenio Hall. So he looked more electable than the dry incumbent George Bush. Okay? You see where I'm going with this? They kind of had the right idea with John Kerry, but they realized John Kerry was older than Bush. Plus, the Swift boat business really hurt John Kerry badly. Obama, okay? They didn't care McCain was a war veteran. They didn't care he was a POW and supposedly did all these great things for this country. They wanted the young, sharp guy that looked good in a suit, and that's how Obama got in. And they could have kept John Edwards' skeletons in his closet. I don't know who he pissed off, but they could have swept John Edwards' skeletons in the closet. None of that could have went public, or none of that had to go public. They could have used him as the follow-up instead of Hillary Clinton. They broke from the formula. The formula is the young, sharp guy in the suit, is what I'm saying. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kathy Hochul steps down either for Cuomo, which will screw things up, and perhaps Stefanik will win. Unless, it depends. If Cuomo comes in as an independent, with Kathy Hochul trying to run as an incumbent Democrat, that'll split not the Democrat vote, it'll split the Republican vote, because for some reason there's Republicans, sucking Andrew Cuomo's ass. If you're a Republican, stop sucking Andrew Cuomo's ass. Do not support Andrew Cuomo ever. I don't care what Trump even says. Don't support Andrew Cuomo. Okay? Fuck Andrew Cuomo. Now that we got that out, let's talk about this governor's race. How many ways they can try to screw over Elise Stefanik. They could put other Republicans against Elise Stefanik, which means that she'd beat everybody, because she's like the top name right now. She'll beat everybody, but the idea is that she'll have to go out and campaign and frickin' keep her name more relevant than everybody else's, because you can't just kick back and your name stays more relevant than everyone else's, and not expect somebody to jump ahead of you, leapfrog ahead of you. So what happens is they could do that, sort of wear it down a little bit. They can, as I said, wedge Cuomo in there as an independent, and then suddenly we forget about how god-awful Cuomo handled the COVID situation, and people will actually elect that son of a bitch bastard that should never hold a public office ever again as governor again. And that will suck because Andrew Cuomo sucks. And so does Kathy Hochul. And the third option is what I was saying before about the young, sharp guy that looks good in the suit that very few have ever seen before. Oh, wow, look at that. He's got a lot of bright ideas. Oh, look at him in his suit. What a sharp suit. Hey, he's cool. I like him. Aren't you a Republican? Republican mulligan. He looks like a nice guy. Elise Stefanik, she's a little. It's not a freaking beauty contest. Personally, I think Elise Stefanik's cute, but that's not why I'm voting for her. That's not why I'm going to vote for her. I think she's a sharp, professional individual who can run this state. But, they're going to find ways to screw her over and get that young, sharp guy in the suit that has all the answers and delivers nothing. A la Jimmy Carter, a la Barack Obama, a la this fucking guy they just elected mayor. He's gonna suck as mayor. I'd like him to do good because when he does good, we all do good, but he's a Democrat. He's gonna suck because there's no such thing as an efficient Democrat. They're all lazy, and they all want to give everything away at the expense of people who bust their ass to try to put something in their pocket. And then they guilt trip the people who put what they work for in their pocket. What a bunch of sons of bitches. I tell you, that's your Democrats for you. That's your Democrats. So, God will guide this election, okay? Just like God guides me when doing crucial automotive repairs. I don't do it without God's guidance. And it's dependent on what God instructs me to do and not my own personal experience. And that's how I was able to exceed and excel in this business. And this is why I was able to walk away from the business several times and come back and do so well because of God. And that's why I have such a great respect for God. And I should run for public office myself, and with God's guidance I will win, whichever office that may be. Last video I was talking about school board. I might shoot for some other office, assemblyman or something like that. You never know, but I need to hold an elected office to prove that I'm capable of serving as an elected official. And by God, it's gonna happen in this lifetime before I'm dead. So on to the I Say. We got a really good video for you tomorrow. You're not gonna wanna miss it. But until then, respect God, watch out for the Illuminati, Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building. Hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero. Your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host that is never gross. MC Too Tall. Be good.